Well, good morning, everyone. It is 6 a.m. here in the 757, and I'm coming to you live. Well, not really live, because it is pre-recorded, but you get the damn point. I'm your host, Trooper 6, and today we've got something a little special for you today, and for the next potential 4 weeks, because I don't know how long this one will take us, but we're going to be doing, as you saw from the thumbnail, a Blood Angels Death Company Marine. Doesn't that sound lovely? It should. I mean, only if you're on their side. However, I've restarted this intro because I had an idea, and either way, as you can see, I already did the soft parts to the armor. Now, everybody knows when it comes to Death Company, if you know Death Company, they all have black armor. But we're going to be doing a special technique. And the end result, I'm hoping, is to look like this. Let me put our little Primaris boy down, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You see how grainy and matted this all looks? Especially that shoulder. There's actually a transfer under there, and that's what that little like hiccup right there is. Because I tried to pull the transfer off, and then it wasn't pulling off, so I was like, alright, whatever. But you see all the mattedness of the armor. So what I did, and this is a little homebrew project of mine, what I did was I painted the whole thing silver, with that gunmetal. And then I used a sponge, or in this case, a little foam thing. And blah, 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 with some matte black. I'm not going to be using the contrast paints. I don't think I'm going to get that result from this. But this is basically what we're going to be shooting for. Now, the reason for that is I was inspired, and if I'm remembering correctly, from... Oh, what the hell is the book? Devastation of Baal. If I'm remembering correctly from the Devastation of Baal, they did not have enough black armor for everyone there. So they had to scorch the armor of everyone there, which is cool. Otherwise, they usually have, some actual black armor to adorn their Marines in when they fall to the Black Rage. What's the Black Rage, sir? I'm just watching your shit, and I don't know what fucking 40K is. I'll explain that later. For now, when these Marines fall to the Black Rage, they get clad in black, and it's to symbolize that they are at the end, because now their only job is to fight and die. That's it. That's all they're good for. They've gone crazy. There is no coming back unless you're Mephiston. And that's it. So, I'm going to go with the scorched idea. And that's what I did for that other miniature. I was using the sponge because I've realized that if you do it enough, it actually looks like scorched armor. Because when you're taking like a blowtorch or something to some metal, of course it's going to turn some colors, and then eventually it turns black. And that's what I wanted to do. So we are technically here wasting some paint to paint this Marine red. I see a red Marine and I want to paint it black. Well, I see a gray Marine and I want to paint him red. But then I want to paint him black. But that wouldn't make a good song, would it? Either way, though, that's today's plan. That's my game plan. I'm hoping that it works out. This could potentially be the first failure Marine on the channel. I don't know if that sounds weird to anyone out there to say like that. Like, oh, that's my first failure. I don't know. Either way, It's going to be an interesting one. And it gives me a nice little break from painting some of the other stuff that I've been painting. I haven't done a blood angel in a long time. Actually, since I had last worked on my little homebrew project, I think is the last time I did a blood angel. It's hard to remember, honestly, because I wasn't paying that much attention to it. And when you only get to paint on the weekends, oh man, that depresses me. Because I know I've talked about that before, to where, I was painting every night, and I could get, anywhere between 5 to 7 minis done a week. That was a lot of minis. And I didn't even post them online and all that. I'd post them on Etsy, and hopefully somebody would buy it. It'd be fantastic. That's alright. Ooh, however, I did remember somebody went ahead and nabbed up my Carcharodon's repulsor. So whoever that guy was in California, thank you. If you're watching, you're awesome, dude. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it shipped in one piece. I was really worried about that one. I had messaged him before it got to him. I was like, hey, I'm really hoping that it gets to you in one piece, man, because, the top turret is, sectioned off. I'm just hoping that that the post office doesn't, fuck it up or anything, because it is marked as fragile, but that, as far as I have seen, and my only experience is Amazon, that people just don't exactly give a damn about fragile markings. Which is funny, because those same people, they would throw a bitch fit if it was their package getting fucked up that was supposed to be fragile. But either way, I'm really glad that it showed up undamaged. That's fantastic. And even he assured me it's not really the companies that are damaging your shit. It's the fact that people don't package them and pad them correctly. So it turns out that I did. And I'll just say that it's because I've worked in that field. So I know how to package that crap. I will take that credit. I don't care. Boop, 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 boo. Hopefully everybody is doing wonderful. I, once again up here, sound like I'm like sick or something again. And I'm not. But it's the allergies. Once again, I keep forgetting to take some allergy pills first thing in the morning. And there's just a temperature change up here. All kinds of other crap. We're in that weird time of the year, just almost like every time of the year. Excuse me. Like when they're like, "Oh, it's flu season," I'm like, "Isn't that just all year at this point?" But here we is. And something just keep popping in my head. So I have a coworker. I don't want to use names. He knows who he is. He's been watching the stuff, and I very much appreciate it. He said he wanted me to talk more about work. Funny things that happened at work. And honestly, man, I'm not too sure about any of the funny things that really have happened at work. One, I just don't like to talk about work. Just like when I'm at work, I don't really care to tell too much about my family life and all that because that's my family. And I usually keep that stuff pretty private, especially from work people, because I'm there to get a paycheck and not be buddies. The only real, I guess, funny things you could consider is some of the ridiculous shit that a coworker of ours would say. And the guy is just a walking meme. He's a walking meme. He is 100% a stereotype. It is quite hilarious, but then he's also made me furious with some of the stupid shit that's come out of his mouth. We'd also made the mistake of thinking we could just talk to this person, joke around, say shit. No, you can't really do that. And even I had messed up recently saying a joke to him, forgetting who he is. I'm like, you're going to go around and talk about this shit, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Because that's what you do. Because you don't know how to shut up. His mouth is going to get him in trouble. But that's okay. Before I get all into that, sorry, Mr. Coworker Man, but I ain't. I ain't talking about work. I don't think that's going to be productive for anyone. Least of all me. Most of all, least of all. Either way, I don't want to talk about work. I don't like work. If it strikes me one day, if something truly funny happens enough for me to mention it, I might. But for now, I don't think anything has really happened that justifies being brought up on the show. Even though our coworker is quite quotable. Either way, it made me think, what the hell could I tell you? I was thinking about stories, things that had happened to me, or things that I had witnessed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I should tell. Let's see. What I could tell. What I could tell is back when I was in high school. I want to say this was like sophomore year. Might have been junior year. Probably sophomore year. Either way. Back in high school. It was like finals week, SATs, all that bullshit. And me and some unfortunate friends at the time decided to skip school. So we took off in their car. And these were the juggalos that I had hung out with. Well, at least one of them was an absolute juggalo. That's what he proclaimed. I never saw him do the makeup. It probably just wasn't his thing to do. I don't really remember. I didn't care either. The thing that brought us together was weed. That was our common denominator right there. So it's not like we were friends. It's not like any of us were friends, like real friends. But we're driving around town and there's too many people in the car. He's driving. One of them is. Got one in the front seat. And then we've got 3 in the back seat, which it can't hold that many. It might have been 4 in the back seat if I remember correctly. But then there were 2 people in the trunk. Because why not, right? We're driving around and the dude starts driving erratically, and he gets pulled over because he went drifting around a corner. He got pulled over because he did it in front of a cop. You know, and at that point, I am in the trunk. How the hell did I end up in the trunk? Well, we stopped at the Junior Mart, and we got out. I think we had a cigarette or something like that. I'm not exactly sure anymore because it all kind of happened, and I was in a little bit of a haze. Like, it was like one of those surreal scenarios that you don't quite remember because you were like, I can't believe this is happening, but I didn't know what else I was doing. Either way, they said it was my turn, and I was like, excuse you? I'm not getting in a fucking trunk. Before I know it, the big kids in the group picked my ass up, chucked me in the trunk. And then another guy had climbed into the trunk. He had already been in there, and he was like, fuck it. I'll just keep riding in here. I didn't want to be in there because obviously I didn't trust any of them. Why was I there in the beginning if I didn't trust any of them? It was high school, and I was not a very smart kid. Well, I was a smart kid. But you could be smart and stupid at the same time. Either way. Like I said, we driving erratically, drifted around a corner. We got pulled over. And the cops hear me just banging on the trunk, yelling at them to let me out because I'd had enough. Cops open the trunk. There I am. Woo! Excuse me, folks. That one hit me kind of random. I guess not too random since my nose has been a thing. But that's okay. Either way, when it came to that, we were given an option. You know, we can call our folks or whatnot. Or they could just take us back to school. And I was like, well, what the fuck kind of option is that? I figured they were going to call our folks either way. So they ended up just taking us back to school. They called the police officer that was stationed at our school. Officer OJ is what we called him. He was a bike cop, and it was hilarious because one day he was riding his bike. He's trying to look cool. He's a big fat dude on a bike with his little bike shorts. And the dude was trying to go down the stairs. Some double-decker stairs. And just ate shit. One of the funniest things I had seen there. But either way, OJ came and picked us up, put us in cuffs. Drive us to school, and we're bullshitting. It was me and a buddy, Sam, at the time. Sam was nice enough. I should have told the cop that I was taken against my will. That would have been a fun scenario. And it would have gotten back at those sons of bitches that I ended up not liking. It was actually one of the last times I ever saw them. It was after being forced in a trunk, you tend not to hang out with people. But either way, you know, we get there, and OJ was like, so I forgot to uncuff you. Do you want me to uncuff you at the door before you get out and whatnot? And we were like, nah, it's fine. It's whatever. But, you know, as we're pulling up, it's finals. Half the school is out there. We're like, oh no. So we had to be uncuffed in front of the entire, or at least half the school. Which, of course, sparked controversy because they were like, oh my God, what did they do? Well, obviously, it wasn't that fucking bad. if we're being uncuffed, we were taken to school. Like, yeah, I fucking robbed someone, dude. Yeah. And now I'm being taken back to school because I'm hard. Like, what the fuck do you think happened? Shit like that I always found hilarious. Since we got a little bit more time here. But yeah, OJ ended up uncuffing us in front of everyone. And we were the talk for that week. A few people were like, dude, that was awesome. And other people were like, what the fuck were you doing? And I didn't really have an answer for either one of those scenarios because, one, it wasn't awesome. That just flat out wasn't awesome, guys. And I don't know why you thought it was. But it wasn't. And indeed was not. But you thought it was awesome. So I don't know. I don't know what they had going on in their lives to make them think that that was something really cool. I mean, maybe they just had some enjoyment out of it. I don't know. I don't know what's missing in their lives to give them such entertainment, such pleasure. And honestly, I don't really care. Because good Lord, that feels like such a lifetime ago. I feel like as a person, I have changed like 2 or 3 times since then. I don't think I'd be able to recognize myself if I'd ever gotten the chance to go back in time and like see myself, or God forbid even talk to myself. I'm not sure I'd recognize the kid standing in front of me. I would tell him never get rid of your long hair though, kid. And on that note, we will end things here today. We made more progress than we usually did, didn't we? But when it comes to the black, I think we're gonna leave the leather alone. That way, I can really just hit everything. You know what? Before I jump off of here, I am going to do the chest a little bit more. I know a lot of people will just go with gold, but I've been very much liking something that I've been doing lately. And we're going to go for it. You know what? We'll go for that afterwards. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call it here. Sorry, I'm thinking about the process. It was a little easier with this guy because he didn't have symbolage on his chest. But obviously I did go back and fix that skull on his belt. So we'll probably just end up doing that. Hit all the black, then fix the details. But either way, guys, I'm really hoping that this experiment works out. And we're going to see next episode or next after that. I don't know how long this series will go. But until then, I will see you next time. Take it easy. Please guide their brushes. Bye-bye.